Istanbul, the beating heart of Turkey, a city where history and modernity collide in a vibrant tapestry of life. On this particular day, however, the city found itself at a standstill. News spread like wildfire through the ancient city's veins, reaching every corner, every household. Ekrem Imamoglu, the immensely popular mayor, had been arrested. The charges: corruption, the reaction: outrage. Imamoglu, a beacon of hope and progress for many, was now in custody. Imamoglu's arrest on that fateful day sent shockwaves through Turkey. Conversations in cafes turned heated and the airwaves buzzed with disbelief and anger. Here was a man, a symbol of hope for many, being dragged away by the authorities. His supporters took to the streets, their faces a mix of defiance and despair. The sight was all too familiar for those who had witnessed the increasing authoritarianism under President Erdogan's rule. The streets echoed with chants for justice and democracy. The arrest felt like a calculated attack, not just on Imamoglu, but on democracy itself. It was a bold move, one that many saw as a direct challenge to the will of the people. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of freedom in a nation grappling with its identity. The arrest underscored the delicate balance between power and liberty. As the sun set on Istanbul that evening, a simmering tension filled the air, a sense of unease that was palpable. The city braced itself for what was to come, a premonition of the tumultuous days to come. The arrest of Imamoglu was not just an event, it was a catalyst, a spark that ignited a nation already on edge. Ekrem Imamoglu is not your typical politician. He is charismatic, relatable, and deeply connected to the people he serves. A man of the people, he rose through the ranks with a reputation for honesty and efficiency. Born in Trabzon, Imamoglu's journey to the mayor's office is a testament to his unwavering spirit. He wasn't handed power. He earned it through hard work and dedication. His victory in the Istanbul mayoral election in 2019 was a watershed moment. It was a victory against all odds, a slap in the face of the ruling AKP party, which had held the city for 25 years. Imamoglu's win wasn't just about him, it represented a yearning for change, a desire for a brighter future. The rivalry between Imamoglu and Erdogan is not new. It's a clash of ideologies, a battle for the soul of Turkey. On one side stands Erdogan, a veteran politician known for his firm grip on power. On the other, Imamoglu, a symbol of the growing dissent against Erdogan's increasingly authoritarian rule. Their paths first crossed during the contentious 2019 Istanbul mayoral election. Imamoglu's surprise victory, though initially annulled, exposed cracks in Erdogan's seemingly impenetrable facade. The rerun election, which Imamoglu won by a landslide, further solidified his position as a formidable opponent. It was a clear message that the people of Istanbul, and perhaps Turkey, were ready for a change. The charges against Imamoglu are as dubious as they are predictable. Corruption, the go-to weapon against dissenting voices, has become a recurring theme in Erdogan's Turkey. But for those familiar with Turkish politics, the accusations reek of a desperate attempt to silence a potent political threat. The timing of the arrest, just days before Imamoglu's expected declaration as the opposition's presidential candidate, is telling. It's a blatant attempt to derail his political ambitions and consolidate Erdogan's grip on power. The evidence against Imamoglu remains flimsy at best, based on allegations of irregularities in a tender process during his time as mayor of Istanbul's Beylikdüzü district. Many see this as a thinly veiled excuse to remove a popular figure who poses a significant threat to Erdogan's authority. The arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu was the spark that ignited a tinderbox of frustration and anger. People from all walks of life poured onto the streets of Istanbul and other cities, their voices united in a chorus of defiance.
The protests were not just about Imamoglu, they were about a system that seemed rigged against the people. They were about the erosion of democratic values, the stifling of dissent, and the yearning for a fairer, more just society.
From the iconic Taksim Square to the bustling streets of Kadıköy, a sea of humanity surged forward, demanding justice for their beloved mayor. The air vibrated with chants of Hak, Hukuk, Adalet, rights, law, justice, a poignant reminder of the principles being trampled upon. Section 6. A global chorus, international condemnation mounts. The arrest of Imamoglu sent ripples of concern across the globe. World leaders, human rights organizations and international bodies were quick to condemn the move, recognizing it as a dangerous escalation of Turkey's crackdown on dissent.
From the halls of the European Union to the United States, calls for Imamoglu's release and respect for democratic values echoed loudly. The international community, already wary of Erdogan's increasingly authoritarian tendencies, watched with bated breath.
The message was clear. The world was watching, and the actions of the Turkish government had consequences. The arrest of Imamoglu was not just an internal matter. It was a litmus test for Turkey's commitment to the democratic principles it purported to uphold. Section 7. Erdogan's grip tightens. A descent into authoritarianism? The arrest of Istanbul's mayor is not an isolated incident. It marks a significant escalation in Erdogan's ongoing campaign to suppress his power. This move has sent shockwaves through the political landscape of Turkey, raising alarms both domestically and internationally. It's part of a much larger and deeply concerning pattern in Turkey. Over the past years, Erdogan's government has systematically targeted political opponents, journalists and activists, creating an atmosphere of fear and intimidation. Under Erdogan's leadership, the country dismantling of democratic institutions and a tightening grip on power. The judiciary, once a pillar of democracy, has been compromised, with judges and prosecutors who dare to challenge the regime being.
From the judiciary to the media, Erdogan has consolidated his control, silencing critics and consolidating power. Journalists who report on government corruption or human rights abuses face harassment, arrest and imprisonment, stifling free speech and press freedom. The arrest of Imamoglu is seen by many as a desperate attempt to eliminate a powerful rival and further cement his grip on power. Imamoglu, a popular figure and a symbol of hope for many Turks, represents a significant threat to Erdogan's dominance.
The once vibrant democracy that Turkey aspired to be is fading, replaced by a climate of fear and repression. Citizens who once believed in the promise of democratic reforms now find themselves living in a state where dissent is dangerous and the future is uncertain. The international community must continue to hold Erdogan accountable for his actions and stand in solidarity with the Turkish people who yearn for a return to democratic values. Global leaders and organizations have a responsibility to support those fighting for freedom and justice in Turkey, ensuring that their voices are heard and their rights are protected. Section 8. The economy, a breeding ground for dissent. While the political landscape in Turkey is a key factor in the recent unrest, it's crucial to acknowledge the role of the economy. The economic situation has been deteriorating for years, creating a fertile ground for dissent and frustration among the populace. Turkey has been grappling with a struggling economy with soaring inflation and a depreciating currency. The cost of living has skyrocketed, making it difficult for ordinary citizens to afford basic necessities.
This economic hardship has fueled discontent among the population, particularly the middle and lower classes who are bearing the brunt of the crisis. Many families are finding it increasingly hard to make ends meet, leading to widespread frustration and anger. Imamoglu, with his focus on social welfare and economic opportunity, resonated with many struggling Turks. His promises of economic reform and support for the underprivileged struck a chord with those who felt neglected by the current administration.
His arrest, seen by many as politically motivated, has further aggravated the economic anxieties of the people. The perception that the government is silencing opposition voices has only added fuel to the fire. The protests are not just about democracy, they are a cry for help, a desperate plea for a government that prioritizes the needs of its citizens. The economic struggles have intertwined with political grievances, creating a powerful movement demanding change. Section 9. The future of Turkish democracy at a crossroads. The arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu and the subsequent protests have brought Turkey to a critical juncture. The country stands at a crossroads, facing a choice between the path of authoritarianism and the promise of democracy.
The international community must stand firm in its condemnation of Erdogan's actions and demand the release of Imamoglu and all political prisoners. Turkey's future as a democratic nation hangs in the balance.
The resilience of the Turkish people, their unwavering belief in democracy, offers a glimmer of hope. The spirit of protest, the demand for justice, and the yearning for a brighter future are powerful forces that cannot be ignored. The world is watching, waiting to see which path Turkey will choose.